Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? The big story today in the NFL, and we'll get to our big four because it relates to one of the four games that I'd highlighted for this weekend, and that's the 3-0 Tennessee Titans hosting the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe because it was announced today, three members of the Tennessee Titans, the team, as well as 5 members of their personnel have tested positive for COVID-19. So both the Titans facilities as well as the Vikings, who they played, have been shut down at least through late in the week or this weekend. The officiating crew from this past weekend will be tested every day and will be sitting this weekend. The NFL has one officiating crew that has a bye week every week, so that crew will be the bye this week. So and Gritty showing his face randomly down there in the Sunshine State.
You try controlling him.
But this tweet earlier from Adam Schefter: the NFL wants to and intends to play the Tennessee Titans versus Pittsburgh Steelers as scheduled on Sunday. One of the contingency plans to allow for additional testing and contact tracing to occur would then move the game to Monday night. So the NFL's still going to try to get this game in. I know Dave shared a tweet with me earlier. I forget the account that it came from. But I think the Titans have a bye week in Week 7. The Steelers have a bye week in Week 8, a week after they play the Ravens, who also have a bye week, Week 8. So potentially you could do some juggling there. But hopefully this doesn't become more of an issue in the NFL. I mean, it's when you don't have a bubble. We talked about this when we predicted the seasons. This is probably going to be a thing that happens. So the NFL is going to, I'm sure, try to do their best to avoid canceling or postponing games, because it's going to be a trickle effect throughout the year. And then you got to wonder, are you going to extend the playoffs out so you make up time? It's all very preliminary at this point, but it's something we're obviously going to watch as this season carries on. But yeah, I mean, this is the first instance of the virus hitting the NFL, and we knew that not being in a bubble was going to be hard to maintain, because that was what we talked about. The NBA's been successful, the WNBA is successful. The NHL went 9 weeks or whatever it was in the Toronto and Edmonton bubbles, COVID free, and we're seeing with college. We saw it with the beginning of Major League Baseball. They finally got it contained. But when you're not, and I saw there was pictures and videos. I tweeted in an article earlier from my personal Twitter page that there was Raiders players out at some event, just no masks and all of that. So I'm like, this is exactly how these things happen. Like, it's not really a debate about your thoughts on masks, your feelings on masks, or anything. But the bottom line is, if you put yourself out there in those potential situations, this is how a season gets derailed. Sean, Matt, any thoughts?
Yeah, this is. That's the kind of scenario, the NFL looked like it was headed for a lot faster than it has. One time, we talked many times about what seemed like a lack of planning, just kind of like, well, we'll see, we'll play it by ear. And I'll give it to them with the contract tracing steps they've put in play. And for the most part, it seems like teams have a pretty good grip on everything. Surprisingly, the team in Las Vegas can't. But that's okay, because, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, unless it's a virus, because that doesn't always stick around. That'll follow you wherever you go. But that's kind of situation. I expect the league, if there are actual pictures or there are actual documented evidence of them being out of there. We know the league came down real harshly on coaches and sideline personnel for not wearing their masks in the first week or two. I mean, more fines than you normally see for players in a week came down for not wearing a mask, only because the NFL knows this is the paycheck. This is, having an opportunity to play, fans or not, is at least money coming in, and it's at least something happening. And if people are going to take it into their own personal account to derail it, they're going to make up some of that difference. So I don't know if it's going to truly affect that game. I think there is a chance. We just saw in soccer in England, Premier League, I think Tottenham had to forfeit a match because of a similar situation. And I think there's a chance you may see that. I think the NFL has a pretty deep roster of, practice players that in the very, strangest of situations, you may just kind of see a replacement team out there hoping for the best.
Keanu Reeves sitting at home waiting on the call.
Keanu Reeves, get him out there. I've seen him do his magic. He's good. But I don't know. I don't know in that situation if you're willing to, because of what starters are going to stay. You know what I mean? Are you replacing linemen and keeping your high-paid quarterback behind them? I don't know how that plays out, but I think there's a chance you may see some forfeits due to it. I hope they can find another way around it, but I think the league will be on top of it as best they can, and hopefully we have plenty of football ahead of us.
Yeah, because it has been a nice welcome distraction on the weekends. Football has been, and even if my Cowboys and you guys feel the pain as well, but it's still been nice to have it there. Matt, thoughts on the developing situation out of Tennessee?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of expected this to happen with football, just because of the closeness of the players, a lot of contact in that sport. We saw so many cases with baseball where, there's very little contact. So, we kind of figured that NFL was going to test the limits and, hopefully it doesn't get any worse. But I think we all kind of assumed that this would happen at some point, hoping that it doesn't result in any sort of forfeiture or cancel games. But again, health and player safety has to come first. So if that has to be the case, then so be it. End of the day, it's just a game. It is a nice distraction for all of us. So I certainly want to see as much football and other sports as we can, but not at the risk of anyone's future.
Yeah, and that's an important thing to kind of keep things in perspective as well. I mean, we enjoy the games and all of that, but it goes beyond sports as well. So, all right, let's dig into the Big Four for the weekend, and like I said, starting with the 3-0 Steelers. If the game happens, they're a 2-point road favorite at Tennessee, who's also 3-0. 47 is the over/under. This one's Sunday, 1 Eastern on CBS. I know I'm taking the under in this one. The Titans offense hasn't totally jumped off the page at me now. Whether the Steelers, I mean, it's a 2-point number, so saying it's almost a push at this point. It's whether or not I want to call the upset, but I think I do like Pittsburgh in this one, especially because they've kind of been without the distraction this week. Maybe they just are able to be a little bit more focused on the game of football. So I'll take the Steelers and the under.
I think in a non-COVID related situation, I think my pick would be very different than it's about to be. I still love Ryan Tannehill. I still love the running game they have there. I love the line. And I think their defense is incredibly underrated as well. I think that they're definitely a top half defense and have a chance to finish even better than that. Having said that, I don't know who the players are. I don't know what's going to happen between now and Sunday. And because of that, because we picked so early in the week, I think I got to go with Pittsburgh to cover on this. I was kind of in the middle anyway. I don't think it was going to be close either way. For Tennessee's sake, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they just prove me wrong here because I like everything they're doing in the AFC South, and I hope that they can pull that division out. But yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, and I'm with you on the under. I don't think there's as many points scored here. You mentioned Tennessee struggling. I haven't seen a lot of success out of Pittsburgh. Bursts, some pretty high scoring bursts, but still, I'm not sure that line's quite, got the running game leveled out, and I think you're going to see two defenses keep this score low.
All right, Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of the first true test for Pittsburgh. We've seen them win 3 games against 3 underwhelming teams, with Denver facing all the injuries they are, the Giants just being the Giants, and Houston trading away all their good players and saying, do your best, Deshaun, and it's not really working out. So I don't really know what we have in the Steelers yet. That being said, I don't think that Tennessee has the offense to keep up with the Steelers, just with the firepower that they kind of shown that they do have. That Ben always kind of has that ability to just score quickly with all the speed he has at receiver. So I think the Steelers win. I think they cover, but I certainly would not take the over either, just because Tennessee's offense at this point isn't like setting the world on fire.
All right, then we go to 2-1 Indianapolis. They are a 3-point road favorite at 3-0 Chicago. 45 is the number on this one. This one also Sunday at 1 o'clock, also on CBS. So we got Nick Foles back in the saddle. He leads a big comeback last week. Mitch Trubisky finally, if you're a Bears fan, finally to the bench. It would possibly, in hindsight, one of the worst draft days, if you're looking back on it. The players that were still on the board, one of them had a pretty good showing last night on Monday Night Football with pretty Kansas City. Just pretty good. He's all right. I think that kid's got a future.
He might make some money someday.
He might. And then you got the Colts, who I think are still kind of finding their identity with Phillip Rivers, and I know they have a little bit of a banged up offense there, but I think the defense has looked decent through a couple weeks. But I like the Bears. I like the Bears at home with Nick Foles. I think there's going to be a little bit of energy there. Obviously you're playing against a team that last week that had blown leads, but I like Nick Foles back in the saddle. I'm glad he's no longer just down the road from me and Matt here to cause me any more stress in my life that I don't need. So I'll take Nick Foles in a comfortable win. And I will still take the under. I don't think either offense here is impressive. So Bears and the under. Sean.
Well, Phillip Rivers, you talk about a team trying to figure itself out and kind of find its identity. Phillip Rivers has spent the good part of 2 decades trying to find his identity. The only thing I know he is a dad a whole lot of times. Other than that, I don't really know. I don't know whether the guy fathers more children or throws more interceptions. I can't decide. But he's doing fine. They got a running game going, and their defense is way overperforming right now. I thought they were a good defense as well. I didn't think it was this good. But they're playing real well. But if you think I'm going to pick the Colts in this game against Nick Foles, you got to be out of your mind. Nick Foles came in and in a quarter, a little over a quarter, pretty much surmounted everything that Mitch Trubisky has done up to this point. And I think Nick's going to be, like you said, he's going to be amped up. I think everyone's excited. I saw Tariq Cohen get a little more involved last week. Finally, stop pretending that Montgomery's a shifty pass-catching back. You have one of those. And Nick Foles, I know, loves his shifty pass-catching back. So he's going to want him involved. And I know Allen Robinson's got to be excited about it. That guy's been dying to stretch the field. So I think the Bears offense is going to wake up. It's going to be hard against that defense, but I think Nick does get a little excited out of the chute, maybe turns the ball over a time or two, sets up a short field for Phillip Rivers, and because of that, has to kind of push that score up. I'm going to take the over with Nick Foles winning the game.
All right, Matt, how about you?
Yeah, it's tough because I think Tariq Cohen is one of those players that Foles would have relied on a lot, and so him being out for the rest of the year doesn't really bode well for for what I thought Nick was going to have going. I mean, you saw him use him pretty
Sure.
well in that comeback win. Again, I can't see myself picking Rivers to win a game because this is the exact type of game that Phil Rivers just loses all by himself, like a crushing interception in the fourth on the comeback. That's Phil Rivers' identity. It's just Romo 2.0. So that being said, nice jersey, Jim.
Thanks.
I'm gonna take the Bears, and I'm gonna take the over as well. I think that we see Rivers kind of come out of his shell a little bit, and then do exactly what Philip Rivers does. So Bears win, but a higher scoring game than I think many would anticipate.
All right.
I used to joke down here in Tampa Bay that people give Jameis Winston a rough time. I was like, I've been watching Philip Rivers play Jameis Winston for the last decade. So if he has when they were like, "Are we going to get rid of him?" I'm like, I don't know. Chargers didn't. Like I used to give people that. So I think he had kind of that transition, and now Rivers gets to just be Rivers again because there's no impersonator in Tampa Bay.
Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? All right, then we go to Kansas City, where the 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs host the one of those, I think, surprising teams as well, the 2-1 New England Patriots. The Chiefs are a 6.5-point home favorite. 53.5 is the over/under on this one. This looks to be the marquee of the late matchups. 4:25 on CBS. Man. Part of me wants to say New England is going to cover here, but just watching what the Chiefs did last night, I can't do that in good conscience. So I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs plus. And man, 53.5. I like New England's offense has been moving the ball, so I'm going to take the over. So Chiefs plus and the over.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the only thing the Patriots have going for them, and it's a big one when your coach is Bill Belichick, is you get the short week for Kansas City. So do I think it's out of the realm of possibility they're more prepared? Yes, I think it is out of the realm of possibility that they're more prepared. You can be as prepared as you want. Pat Mahomes is going to surprise you, and I think, like you said, we saw that last night, and I don't see any reason why New England really challenges here. I think this might be the first one because New England's kind of come out of here, and 2-1, you can call it a surprise if you want. I don't know if I'm that surprised, maybe in the style of play and how well the defense has played with some holes having opted out. Maybe that's a surprise to me. I think all those games were winnable through coaching and just through not turning the ball over. I think this might be the game that Cam's kind of forced to try to do some things, and he's kind of a self-centered guy, if you haven't noticed. And I think that Mahomes being the center of attention in this whole the whole talk of this game, and probably is going to get compared to Cam in some of those interview questions. I think that's going to get to him. He's going to try to force some things, and I think this might be the one where you see New England make some mistakes. And it's going to kind of expose them. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover pretty easily. That over marked real close. I don't know, just for disparity's sake, why don't I take the under on that? Just say that, New England doesn't put up quite enough to push it to there. And it's kind of all Chiefs filling just up to it, but not quite there.
All right, Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I think this game is kind of like the changing of the guard, because I think Kansas City for the next few years is going to be what the Patriots were for so long. I think they just have the build of a dynasty team at this point. We saw Andy Reid kind of put on a clinic on Monday against the Ravens, who are supposed to have a pretty good defense, and Mahomes and Reid just kind of picked everything apart there. I don't think New England has the defense that's even on par with Baltimore. And I don't think Cam has the weapons to keep up. So I think Kansas City covers easily. I do like the reclamation project in Cam going to New England. I do feel like, at some points, definitely a selfish guy, but still kind of got a bad rap. So I like to see him succeed, but I just don't think it's going to happen this week. But I will take the over. I think he puts up enough points to get over the spread, but I still think Kansas City wins handily. I think double digits, most likely.
I like what you said about the passing of the torch kind of thing. And I think the one thing you see with Kansas City is they have enough facets to that offense with speed on the outside, big, tall, good tight end play, good slot receivers, and then the ability to kind of use the running backs that you can prepare for them all you want. And if one thing's not working, they have so many facets to just turn to on the fly. And Andy Reid's a really good game day coach. So I kind of like what you mean there. It's kind of similar to what the Patriots were doing for a really long time.
By the way, if you're following along on like social media at all, we're like 15 minutes into the debate, and it looks like it's just a mess. Like, I'm so happy we're doing this right now.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a mess.
Looks like it's an absolute dumpster fire like 10 minutes in. So
I don't care which side you're on. It's going to literally look like
we talked
things at each other.
We talked
just
about
take that.
We talked about things that were surprising. That is not surprising.
Not surprising.
It's probably Biden forgetting where he was going with his comments, and Trump just saying fake news.
Trump just
idiot.
Yeah.
What's this guy talking about?
Yeah, like questions that just derail the debate. Like, well, what did you have for dinner? I don't know. Why'd I come in the kitchen? Things like that.
Just a mess. So
don't worry about it. Don't worry about what I have.
Well, it'll be entertaining.
Doesn't matter.
It'll be entertaining on Twitter.
For those that are following along with us, we appreciate you who are with us. Comment along if you have any thoughts on what's going on here. And one more NFL game on the schedule here. The 3-0 Buffalo Bills traveling as a 3-point road favorite to 2-1 Las Vegas Raiders. 52.5 is the over/under on this one. Also 425 on CBS. So if you haven't noticed, like, 2 1 o'clock games, 2 4 o'clock games, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game are not pretty. I think the Eagles are Monday night next week.
Sunday
night, and they play. Who do they play?
At San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco's still pretty dinged up.
So
it
is the battle of the beaten.
Yeah.
If there's you find me a team with more holes than those two.
Is it too early to flex games?
Just flex them
out week 4.
I don't know. I think it makes a lot of good talking points for just the fact that if you took everyone on their injury report between those two teams, you could fill in a starting roster probably.
It'd be a pretty solid team, yeah.
That'd be good.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Much obliged.
I think George Kittle is supposed to be back. So regardless
of but Jordan Reed's dead. So
Jordan, yeah, well, also not surprising. Also not surprising, by the way.
He lasted longer than I thought he would.
Yeah, game and a half.
But what is surprising, and I'm not making a joke out of this, but what is surprising is it wasn't a concussion this time.
That's true.
So
it was his leg.
It was his leg that gave up this time, not the concussion. But I like. I wish this number was bigger than 3. I really do. You know what? Screw it. Screw it. I'm gonna take the Raiders to win here at home. I'm gonna take the hopeful over because I have Josh Jacobs and the Raiders tight end. So it's just and I have John Brown. So I'm like. It's just me throwing hope into the. Somebody
do you not even know the guy's name.
I hope it's Waller, right? Darren Waller, Dustin Waller, something Waller.
Well, Waller. While they're out there, catch a dozen passes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter what your name is. Just catch me some touchdowns.
Just catch another dozen balls. All that guy does is catch balls.
He does
all day. 12 balls.
Which is also baffling why Jason Witten decided to go there. But I guess. If somebody's going to pay you, I guess that's your only option.
Pay you good money to block.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
His dream.
Why not? Raiders.
What were the other options? Going back into the booth? My God.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
You know what? I want to thank the Raiders for keeping him from going back to the booth. So yeah, Raiders and the over for me. Sean, how about you?
Yeah, I think that number is just it is close. It's kind of one of those where it's like it was a little bit of a bigger spread, I would know which side I was on. I'm kind of the other way. I'm a guy that drafted the Bills defense, and I love the Bills defense. And to be honest, that defense has been kind of on the other side of that Indianapolis coin, where they've been putting up some fantasy numbers. At least like acceptable, but they're not really dominating any games. I'm not seeing the pass rush. I don't think the defensive line play has been very good. I think the secondary's been doing their best to do some coverage, and I did like Matt earlier, loving him some Josh Allen, and I think the addition of Stephon Diggs really opened that offense up a lot. Kind of a lot of people going, well, what's he going to do opposite John Brown? You know what he's going to do to make John Brown get open a lot. And when teams key in with John Brown, guess who's open on the other side? It's some pretty speedy guys with good hands, and it's really helped Josh Allen and Knox in the center of the field. And man, if they can get that running game going outside of Josh Allen, look out. I'm not going to lie to you. That's going to be a real good team. But I'm kind of with you. I feel like it doesn't feel right. I feel like I should want the Bills. I should like the Bills. I like Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a day. But I think Derek Carr might also have a day. I feel like it's going to be that kind of thing where it's going to be close. And I'm asking the football gods right now who have told me 3 times in a row the Eagles would win, and they lied.
Well,
And
they weren't wrong last week.
And they've told me to go with the Raiders, so I'm going to take the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills. I'm going to take Josh Allen and the Bills. I love everything about him, and I hate the Raiders.
Apparently, we did get a "Will you shut up, man?" on the debate.
Oh man,
Biden apparently said, "Will you shut up, man?"
God. And you know what? He's so quick on the cuff and just acts like he's in a conversation that I can just hear it.
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Will you shut up, man?
Shut up, man.
Holy crap! All right, Matt. Bills and Raiders.
Oh, Bills and under.
And the under for Sean.
Yeah, what was the spread for the over/under?
52.5.
Oh, okay. So I'm clearly going to take the under there. I'm going to take the Bills in a 31-0 win.
Wow.
Not 1 point coming from Las Vegas this week. I think that Derek Carr is kind of in over his head.
Wow.
I don't think that Josh Jacobs, unfortunately, Jim, is going to net you much. I'm going to predict a -2 in fantasy for Josh Jacobs because he's going to fumble on his first carry and then just be benched because Gruden wants to make a statement. Yeah,
a lot of bold predictions in this.
That one's a little bit of a stretch, but I do think that the Bills defense wants to make a statement game, and I think this is the time that they do it. You know, they had the Rams just kind of beaten mercilessly last week, let them back in. I think that defense has a little bit more pride, and they're going to show it against Derek Carr, who, you know, we know is prone to throw a pick or 2 or 3 or 4. So I think that
Don't be rude.
Bills get up by a lot pretty early. I think Carr tries to put the team on his back, and I think it just collapses. So Bills big.
I mean,
his back or the team.
Both.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Both of
the
those.
Bills are going to rake his back.
Oh my God! I gotta have that somewhere. I know I did.
He raked my back. Yeah, no, he didn't literally rake it.
Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?